So source control is something that we use in the game industry when we want to manage projects. If you want to have multiple people working on one project all at the same time, all working on different parts of that project, what you need to use is a source control system like Git, Subversion. There's also a couple different ones outside of that. Now, you'll find if you Google around source control systems, there's a lot of different kinds, but the general idea is this. You have your game and all the files in it that require it to run in an editor. So for instance, in Unity or Unreal, you have all those files and you have them on a server. That server then allows people to upload, also known as checking in, different files at different times. When you, as a user of the source control system, want to download all the files, you can download multiple people's updates all at once. Now, as you can tell, if you were to break the build when you uploaded something, that's very bad. And typically on Teams, you'll see some sort of shame object. We used a toilet seat on one project. One time we had an electrical engineer that was on the project, or he went to electrical engineering school. And he rigged up a train to go around the room every time that, like a little toy train set, every time that the build broke. So there's, obviously the build's a really important thing that you want to keep stable all the time by checking in good code all the time. So you have this server, and then you have a local copy, and every person on the team will then have a local copy that they can work on their own. They can save their work, they can edit, they can change anything they want, and then what they'll do is they will upload that when they choose to the server, and it keeps track of changes. So the one other really cool thing about this is if you've used Google Documents or if you've used Apple Time Machine, the idea of source control also is to keep a record of every time something changed. So if you have a text document that changes, instead of saving it as like revision 1, revision 2, revision 3 inside of a single folder, all those revisions are stacked up and are kind of archived in a really interesting way so that you could roll the project forward and backwards in time. So if you wanted to, jump back in time, say 6 months before to see what a game felt like and where you were at, you could just push basically the back in time button, the roll back to 6 months ago, and you could have that at any time, which is really cool. So in terms of this class, we're going to also be using source control that you have access to. That source control is what I want you to use to hand in your homework assignments, as well as manage your projects. It's going to be probably a little difficult at first, and there's a lot of support documentation I'm going to give you over the course. But it's really important for you to master this skill because this is one of those prerequisite skills to knowing how to work in a game industry and work on a software project team. You just have to know this kind of stuff.